Welcome to Scorched Earth and a general mid-month reading for the sign of Pisces, Sun, Moon and Ascendant for the last 2 weeks of November. I hope you are. Using the Shadowscapes for you because that seems to be your deck, to be honest. And as with last month, what we're going to be doing is focusing on the lesson. We're looking for the reason why you're in the energy you're in at the moment, and hopefully we'll try and make a little bit of sense of it. So let's see where you are. With 3 cards for Pisces, please. Ooh, Queen of Cups. Take those ones that fell out, put them back in there. If they want to come out, they can. 2 more cards for Pisces current energy, please. Temperance, beautiful. 1 more for Pisces. Justice. Oh, Pisces, this is powerful. I love this. At the bottom of the deck, we've got the 6 of Pentacles, which is actually followed by the 5 of Pentacles, the Knight of Cups, and the 3 of Swords. Like, life has been very difficult for you recently, but you've moved beyond it, right? Yeah. You know, we've got this 3 of Swords here, and actually this 3 of Swords is the reason why I bought this deck in the first place. Look at that. Absolutely exquisite, right? Real deep pain. Combined with, you know, feelings of loss and isolation and abandonment and all those things. And a difficulty finding your feet in some ways in 2020. But through the Knight of Cups, through the love that you know, that is the way that you show up in the world altogether, you're starting to find your balance, you know, playing to your strengths. But your current energy is absolutely exquisite. We've got the Queen of Cups, which is your queen. Now, strictly she's Cancer, but she is the feminine receptive energy or expression of, you know, energy in the tarot. And I really love this card as well. She's actually walking on the back of turtles, right? It's like there's a light touch to the way that you're traversing your emotions at the moment, right? She can stand on the back of the turtles and she's not like drowning them or pushing them under. They're holding her up. Your emotions are your strength, Pisces, and you've always known that, but there have been times where you've wobbled this year with it. But there's a certain... It's interesting because it feels like you're seeing the point of it, you're seeing the lesson in the wider, you know, sense of the energy, because we've got this Temperance and Justice card, right? And Justice is about balance, it's about, you know, natural law balance, actually. But it does indicate to me a lesson learned often, and that's what I feel for you here, because we've got this Temperance card, and the Temperance card for me speaks about transmuting difficult experiences, healing them and turning them into something useful that you can then, you know, release out into the world. And it feels like that's where you're at now, Pisces, right? Despite the fact that you've had some really rough months actually this year, some right at the beginning of the year, and then, you know, oh God, I can't even remember now, this whole year, it feels like it's gone on for 5 years. September, October time, can't quite remember which. But there's something, I don't want to say detached, because you're not a detached sign. That's not the seat of your power at all. But there is something detached about your appreciation of the experience, actually. And, you know, arguably one needs to detach from it in order to, you know, see it for what it is, rather than getting sunk in the emotion. Yeah, I'll go with you. But it seems like you're elevated again. You know, you're back to where you should have been. We should have been, that's the wrong way to put it. Your emotional space is one that you recognise and are familiar with, albeit more experienced now than it was at the beginning of the year. Tell me about the Temperance card, please. Temperance card here. Yeah. Got the Ten of Skies, which is the Ten of Swords. Like, you have suffered extraordinarily this year, Pisces, but it's coming to an end. Like, you see the end of the cycle. You understand why it's happened. You're transmuting it from pain into healing, into something that you can release specifically out there into the world. All right? And tell me about this Justice card. Tell me about the Justice card. Thank you. Yeah. See, we've got the Four of Earth at the bottom of the deck. That's the Four of Pentacles. It talks about releasing things. Ooh. We've got Judgment directly underneath that. Certainly releasing any sense of judgment about things, but releasing old situations, because that's specifically what the Judgment card talks about here. But when I clarified Justice, what I got was the Tower and the Queen of Cups. And this is interesting because there's a similar theme here to another reading that I've done today. Whose is it? Maybe Aries. I think it was Aries, right? Now, the Tower energy, and you've suffered a few towers this year, Pisces. The Tower energy comes in and takes from your life those things that don't need to be there anymore, right? It's sudden and it's shocking, and usually at the point that it happens, it feels desperately unpleasant and very, very uncomfortable. But ultimately, it does lead to something better, right? It creates space for new things to come in. And you've had a series of Tower moments this year, and they've all been about kind of clearing the way, clearing the way, clearing the way. And here's the Queen of Cups, right? The first and the last card here that I've pulled for you are the Queen of Cups. It's kind of like returning to your new state, to your more familiar state, but almost kind of purified, if I can put it that way. Right? There's a lot of things that have been released for you this year. You've moved past an awful lot of things, and you might not be totally out of the woods yet, and there may still be things that you're working on. But ultimately, this process of refinement of your energy and perhaps a deeper understanding of you and the reason that you're even here in the first place is something that's kind of coming through. I really like this for you. Let's get some find the cards. There we go. Let's have a look for the lesson. Now, every time I do this, I go, well, we've just discovered what the lesson is, and then I pull some more cards, and I'm like, oh, actually, that's quite intriguing. Let's have a look. What is the lesson in this for Pisces, please? What was the lesson? What does Pisces need to be thinking about? Oh, shit. I've got 2 cards, but then 3 fell out together. 4, actually. Yeah, I'm going to pop those back in because... Where am I? I mean, oh, fuck, there's 5 cards here. Do you know what? I'm going to leave them out. Now I shall show you why in a second. There's the Four of Swords. That's that detached energy that I was talking about. Now, for you, this is really, really important because you're an energy that kind of meshes with other people and you feel their pain as if it was, your own. And we've spoken at length about the importance of energetic shielding, protection, boundaries, energetic boundaries, because it is not required for you to personally experience the pain of everybody that you meet and then fix that for them and then send them out into the world, right? It's certainly an aspect of your power, but actually, when you go down that road, you almost by definition, kind of abandon your own work, right? You take everybody else's on and you don't pay attention to your own. It feels like this year has been about focusing your mind on you, on your healing, on your process, all of these kind of things. And actually what it's done is it's powered you up so fucking hard that the way that you come out into the world is a much stronger presentation of your energy than you were capable of managing before, right? Oh, I love that. The Three of Swords is right underneath there again. Detached from other people in order to experience your own pain and process your own pain. That's fantastic. So, in terms of the lesson, we've got some difficult cards here. The first 2 that came out separately, one after the other. The first is the Five of Wands. It's a card of conflict. And the second is the Seven of Swords. Now, for some of you, You've been at hands, no, not at the hands. You've been involved in conflicts that were absolutely not of your creation, or possibly dragged into them in a way that you never really wanted to be. You just found yourself here, and you're just like, well, what the fuck am I doing here? I'm a Pisces, you know, I'm a pacifist. I don't like conflict. I certainly don't court it, and I certainly don't cause it either. But yet, it was brought to your door in some way. Now, conflict is unpleasant, but sometimes it can resolve situations, right? I'm not necessarily sure that in the immediate sense, you being involved in any conflicts actually, you know, shone a light onto anything for you. It was just deeply unpleasant. But in a broader sense, I think that these conflicts that were brought to your door gave you an insight into things in a way that you might not have experienced otherwise, right? And that's been quite important. The second thing that has been important for you to realize is that not everyone is pure, not everybody is kind, not everybody is nice. And in fact, when you're wandering around with no boundaries, people take the piss, right? Some people do. And it would be very easy to have feelings of malice towards these sorts of people, but actually the world is just full of very damaged people, and I think you as a sign understand that and can be compassionate towards that more than most others actually. But that in effect has been your downfall at times, because like I said, it's kind of pulled your eye away from where it should be. I'm not saying at any point that people that need your help should not be helped, because that's not true, but being a bit more selective about the people that you allow into your life and the people that you allow to energetically take from you, because a lot of them have been feeding off you, Pisces, rather than, you know, bringing anything particular to the table. And interactions should be energy exchanges, equal energy exchanges. And what you've experienced this year has been an awful lot of take by other people, right? Transgression of boundaries, people kind of just stamping all over you, and it's a really unpleasant, really painful lesson to learn, but I feel like you've really got on top of it. Now, this whole heap of cards that came out here, the reason that I decided that I was going to keep them is because they all seem really, really relevant. Four of them. 4 of the 5 cards are major arcana, and that in and of itself is almost enough to make me keep them out, because this year for you has been about incredibly difficult, hard-won victories, but difficult lessons learned, right? This card here is the 4 of Cups. It's the only one that's not major arcana, and it speaks about rejection sometimes, abandonment sometimes, but also being taken for granted. And a lot of you have been taken for granted. Like I said, a lot of you have been exploited. A lot of you have been fed off, actually, you know. It's something slightly vampiric about some of the energies that have been around you, you know. But in that wonderful, magical way that you do, we've got the High Priestess. That's you. We've got the Hanged Man. That's also you, right? So not only are you showing up incredibly authentically in your own reading, but you're showing up really powerfully. You're showing up in every conceivable way that you possibly are able to in a tarot deck, right? And it feels like an epic power-up, Pisces. Like really, really quite epic. Because the thing that I like the subtle difference, both of these cards talk about enlightenment and wisdom, right? But the subtle difference between the two is that the High Priestess has this wisdom. She is a channel. She is open to receiving, having things come in. But with the Hanged Man, also a card that talks about wisdom and enlightenment and stuff like that, there's the ability to look at things differently. And I think that this is what you're bringing to the table now, right? You can change. Oh, right. So 1444 has been following me around for the last 2 days. It's really, really weird. And just as I just caught it on on the timer on the camera there, 14:44, and I was just like, whoa. Maybe some of you have been having it as well. Rather than avoiding your own pain by dealing with others, there's a submission to it, right? There's a willingness to lean into the discomfort because you know that there is more to be learned there. Now, like this feels to me like your natural state. You're open and receptive, and everything comes through you. You feel everything, you know everything intuitively. You know, you understand emotion better than, I think, better than any other sign in the zodiac, right? Because you feel it. But this is, it's the most passive card in the deck, right? It doesn't indicate any action at all. The next passive card in the deck is this one, right? Both of them are yours. But there's something about an act of passivity, right? It almost feels like an oxymoron as I say it, but it's not, right? You are choosing to act by not acting. You are choosing to act by submitting. You are choosing to act by looking at things differently. Even if that requires no movement whatsoever, you're still voluntarily undertaking that act, right? To hold those two states together like that, not only is it incredibly powerful, but it's very, very mature. It's very mature. And I feel like this ability, this power-up, if you will, such as it is, has come off the back of you being able to detach slightly and bring up those boundaries in some sort of meaningful way. Because the next two cards that we've got are the Hermit and the Fool. You know, all the answers you require are within you, not within other people. You know, this kind of gentle exploration, probing of other people's internal space, something that energetically you do really, really naturally. It's taught you a lot about other people, but it's kept your eye away from you. The Hermit shows that you are able to now look within you, and like I said, you faced your own pain, you faced your own fear, and there's something gloriously liberating about it. Because there we've got the Fool, right? The Fool can move in perfect love and perfect trust because frankly, the triggers are gone, you know? And if they haven't entirely gone, then they're in the process of disappearing altogether. You know, there's a sloughing off of things that have actually plagued your soul for quite a long time and you weren't even aware of it. You've let them go, right? It's gone, it's dispersed. You processed it and you released it out into the universe as something beautiful. And I'm going to say this because, you know, this is the 11th reading that I've done for the mid-months now, and I've said it in every single reading, but what you fix in yourself, you fix for the collective, you know. And not only that, you show up so much more strongly in the world at large once you have fixed those things in it. So if you are, you know, if you are pulled towards service of some description, if helping people is something that really floats your boat, you are now able to do that in a much more powerful way than you ever could as you were before. And I know that 2020 has been difficult, and I'm sure, I am absolutely certain that many tears have been shed. And you are changed. You are changed. But you are something very powerful now. And what you have to give to the world can make so much more difference now. Can I have some cards of advice for Pisces, please? So, the first card is the King of Wands. Advice for Pisces, please. Do you know what, actually? I Don't know why, but I feel like I need to use the Lost Forest. I'm going to keep that King of Wands out there, but some advice for Pisces, please. Whoa. Whoa. How interesting. That's absolutely fascinating. It didn't occur to me until just about this point that Leo had not shown up in your reading anywhere, and he shows up, you know, he, they, she, whoever, show up usually every single one, but yeah, they're here. Because what we have now is Strength at the bottom of the deck, and it's followed by the 9 of Pentacles and the 10 of Cups and the 2 of Cups. Wow, holy shit, Pisces, right? You're empowered. You, what have I said all the way through this reading? A power up, right? A huge power up. It's, you know, Pisces. There. Now this is a Leo card, but this is your soul growth. What you have experienced this year, what you have processed this year, is putting you here. 9 of Pentacles, I'm delighted to see here, because that's self-sufficiency and independence, right? Now I said the Tower energy was clearing out an awful lot of things for you this year, and what it's done is made you independent. It's made you self-sufficient. Yeah. But more than that, it's made you capable of existing in this realm, in this reality, and something that you found very, very difficult at the beginning of this year. Now you've got it nailed. More than that, we've got the happiness of the collective being something that you are really, really impassioned about at the moment, right? Everyone in the world, you know, because the 10, although it's, you know, it's the culmination of the cup suit, it speaks to me about the collective, right? So it's like not just you. Any 9 is just you. That's the individual. The 10 is the expansion of that, right? More than you. So family, friends, your small collective or your big collective or the entire fucking planet, right? Happiness. You want everybody to feel that because you know what that's like. But you can bring it down to an intimate level too, you know, with one-on-one relationships that you have, right? Your power can be with someone who is right in front of you, and also the world at large, right? So not only do we have Leo energy there for you, as usual, at the bottom of the deck, but we also have it here with the King of Wands. And what's really, really astonishing is that it's turned up with the Queen of Wands as well. This is fascinating to me because this is a balanced fire energy, right? The Wand suit is all about living, right? Living in the moment now, yes, right? Because a spark can be there and it's gone, right? It's about the right here, right now. This is what you are nailing, right? This is you showing up in the world and living your truth, right? Rather than kind of drifting around like some sort of ethereal mist as you have been. It's like you can focus it now in a way that you never used to be able to do, you know? And you've always had this incredible ability to be able to talk to people on a one-on-one basis and make them feel seen in a way that they've never done before. Now that you've turned around and you can see yourself, it's almost like that which you can present to the world, right, enables people to see you in a way that you've never seen before, right? You are truly living here in this dimension, in this realm, right? 100%. And then we've got the 4 of Cups and Judgment in reverse. And that's absolutely fascinating. Did the 4 of Cups not come up somewhere? Yeah, it came up here. Rejection, abandonment, taken for granted, reversed, not happening anymore. With the Judgment card, which, you know, correct me if I'm wrong, was that not one of the shadow cards right at the beginning? Right. This is about resurrecting the past, right? It's about old situations coming back and kind of burning you with an end of days apocalyptic kind of feel to it. This is not going back. This is not going back to those old ways, right? Not going back to any sense of rejection or abandonment or isolation or being taken for granted by anyone. Like, you are a force now, Pisces, right? It's like you've sucked all of your energy in this year because you've had to, with the things that you've been dealing with. But now it's almost like you've condensed into human form finally, and you are able still to tap into that power and bring it out now, you know? My God, this is really powerful stuff, Pisces. Like, you know, you always do that to me anyway. Like, I actually love reading for you. So that was the lesson. This is the result. These are the things that you need to concentrate on. Concentrate on showing up in the world, you know? And taking up space. Because not only are you allowed to do that, you're actually required to do that now. And that might make you feel slightly uncomfortable. So lean into that and work out why it is that you don't feel comfortable with it. Because all the answers are within you and all that. Right, I'm going to leave it there. I really hope that you found something useful here for you. And, you know, as ever, I would love it if you would like the video or something, so I know that I found the Pisceans that this was for. But know that I love you all very, very much. And I'm very, very proud of you. You've done good work this year, Pisces. Right, take care. I'll see you soon.